have an important role to play in stopping the spread of COVID-19. We encourage you to take the necessary precautions to protect yourselves and families by always wearing a face mask, practicing social distancing, and washing or sanitizing your hands frequently. Welcome to InfoHub for Friday, August 28th. Thank you for joining us as we highlight the work of the PPPC administration aimed at improving the quality of life of all Guyanese. Let's inform you that the 12th sitting of the Parliament is set to convene on September 1, 2020, with the People's Progressive Party civic government leading the House with 33 seats.
His Excellency Dr. Mohamed Irfan Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana, on Thursday issued the proclamation declaring Tuesday, September 1st, 2020 as the date for the sitting of the 12th Parliament. In a release issued from the Office of the President, it was disclosed that the head of state has designated the Arthur Chang Conference Center, ACC, at Liliandal, East Coast, Demerara, as the venue for the parliamentary sitting, as this will ensure the observation of COVID-19 safety measures, including social distancing. It was also stated that this will be the venue for other sittings until the Minister of Health, Honorable Dr. Frank Anthony, advised that it is safe to once again hold sessions in the Parliament Chamber, public buildings, Brigham Georgetown. President Ali is expected to address the 12th Parliament after the swearing-in of parliamentarians and the new Speaker of the National Assembly. With Parliament in place, Guyanese can look forward to the presentation of the 2020 national budget. The fiscal plan is expected to take the country through the remaining 4 months of this year. At a press conference earlier this month, Vice President Honorable Dr. Bharat Jagdeo has noted that the national budget was needed urgently.
And the reason why this is so is because the country, the help that people need in many of the sectors can't be made available to them unless, and to reboot the economy, unless we have an early budget. So we'll have to work overtime to get the budget ready, and another three weeks.
With its 233,336 votes garnered at the March 2nd general and regional elections, the new PPPC government has been allocated 33 seats in the National Assembly. The APNUAFC coalition with 217,920 has 31 seats, while the joiner list of a new United Guyana, ANUG, the Liberty and Justice Party, LJP, and the New Movement, TNM, with 5,217 votes, have 1 seat. By proclamation dated December 27, 2019, issued under Article 72 of the Constitution, the 11th Parliament of Guyana was dissolved on December 30, 2019. Neola Damon, InfoHub.
Minister of Amerindian Affairs Honorable Pauline Sukai and Home Affairs Minister Robson Ben earlier today received a courtesy call from Ambassador of the Delegation of the European Union to Guyana, Fernando Pons Canto.
The meeting was held in the ministry's boardroom. Minister Sukai said that the PPPC government's desire to garner a closer relationship with the EU was expressed during the discussion with Ambassador Canto. This is part of the efforts to ensure the lives of the indigenous people are enhanced and will be reflected in the ministry's programs.
We did speak about the priorities being addressing and concluding the land matter, areas of support for youth development, economic activities, and of course examining programs for women. Of course, building capacities and competency of the indigenous population.
Agreeing with the sentiments of the Amerindian Affairs Minister, Ambassador Canto said that the EU has and will continue to be actively supportive of Guyana to strengthen the partnership established in 1975.
The European Union, as you know, is very strongly in favor of equal rights for everyone, and is also very much in favor of indigenous peoples. In a holistic way, meaning covering everything from the economic prosperity to equality to health to education. So we look forward to working together very closely.
Minister of Home Affairs Honorable Robson Ben also met with Ambassador Canto, where he outlined the government's focus despite the challenges they are facing.
I I'm extremely pleased to have had this first engagement at an official level with Ambassador Pons Canto. Certainly, the first issue in terms of our meeting was to thank the ambassador for all the help we got from the European Union in respect of Guyana staying on the democratic path in respect of the process which we went through for our national elections recently.
The EU ambassador reiterated his desire to closely work together with the PPPC government for the greater good.
I feel extremely encouraged by the good ideas and reforms that the minister and the government are undertaking now. I wanted to wish him well in his important responsibilities, but also to reiterate that the European Union is here standing by Guyana, and in particular in the area of his responsibilities, we will be extremely pleased to continue and to increase our cooperation.
Neola Deman, InfoHub.
Meanwhile, state media training was among the areas discussed as Indian High Commissioner to Guyana, Dr. K.J. Srinivasa, today paid a courtesy call on Public Affairs Minister within the Office of the Prime Minister, Honorable Kwame McCoy. Speaking with DPI on the sidelines of the meeting, Minister McCoy stated that the meeting touched on the High Commission's work in Guyana and how it will benefit the country, more particularly initiatives for the state media with emphasis on training. Minister McCoy noted that the talks are in the initial stages and more details will emerge as progress is made.
India has been providing scholarship training over the many years, especially the ITech program for media practitioners and other fields around the country. So we were discussing those ideas. Of course, you know the challenges we face, especially the one that has to do with the challenges of the COVID-19 and about how some of these programs could be delivered at this time.
According to Minister McCoy, the High Commissioner is in contact with university and other stakeholders in India to make the training possible.
It's more like at this stage ideas about how we could do this, at least not wanting to lose too much of time, even though COVID exists, that at least we could start something and then move to the traditional types of training that we've been accustomed to over many years.
Minister McCoy also noted the commitment of the government and people of India to work with Guyana in different areas such as media and communications and to ensure Guyanese get the benefits of technology and other resources. The Indian Technical and Economic Cooperation ITEC program was initiated in 1964 as a bilateral program of assistance by the Government of India. An online discussion with Minister of Education Honorable Priya Malikchand today has yielded a number of suggestions from stakeholders in the education sector from both public and private schools across the country.
On Friday, Minister of Education Honorable Priya Manikchand met with teachers of grade 5 and 6, regional education officers, and other relevant stakeholders in the education sector. This was done to discuss the way forward for the 2021 National Grade 6 Assessment. The minister said that since the closure of schools under the previous administration due to the pandemic, teachers have been without guidance.
Most schools have been closed since March of this year, and teachers without direction or assistance were left to determine the way forward, teachers, schools, and head teachers.
Further, she noted that the time to plan for NGSA 2021 is now.
In addition to the issue of the pandemic and how we delivered in the last 5 months, we actually, or 6 months, we have to deal with something that will seem as though it's far off in our future, but that we need to plan for now. And that's why we're here.
Teachers across the country joined in calling for the resumption of face-to-face interaction, which they said would be necessary for practical subjects such as math and science. For Region 9 teacher Arlene Diegar, this is also necessary due to language barriers in the region.
There seems to be a language barrier that we face here, that we're faced with, including Spanish, Portuguese, and our local dialects. Worksheets to be prepared and sent out. It's going to happen. We would need face-to-face interaction with the children to break down some of the instructions and techniques.
Teachers also reported major challenges due to them not being privy to online platforms. In response, the minister said that a training program will be rolled out shortly.
We're looking at making sure our teachers can be trained because many persons initially, some persons have said to us that they don't know how to teach online. So very shortly, you will see us rolling out a mass teacher training where we hope to make sure every single teacher in the system is trained presently to deliver, well, first with an appreciation and understanding of why these new forums provide so much opportunity, and then how to apply and use the actual forums.
Further, teachers called for a postponement of the NGSA examinations from April 2021 to July or August 2021, and a curriculum review to be done with the challenges in mind. Another suggestion coming out of the meeting was for students to be placed in secondary schools using a placement exam or NGSA to be graded using paper 1 and continuous assessments. The meeting will not be the last for Minister Manik-Chan as she continues to engage with stakeholders in the education sector to formulate a comprehensive plan. For InfoHub, Akishi Budi.
The rich and diverse culture of Guyana's First Peoples will be celebrated during the month of September as customary. Today, the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs launched its calendar of activities for the annual Amerindian Heritage Month celebration.
This year's activities will be celebrated virtually under the theme Fostering Traditional Practices for a Safe Environment, in keeping with the COVID-19 guidelines. During the media launch on Friday, Minister of Amerindian Affairs, the Honorable Pauline Sukai, explained that the theme is significant and timely. The Amerindian traditional practices, she noted, help the indigenous people to achieve desirable outcomes for social and economic balance.
Amerindian peoples continue to safeguard the natural environment, which has contributed to robust climate change practices. The forest, waterways, and ecosystems continue to provide significant support to the ways of life of Guyana's Amerindians. Customs and traditional practices are manifested in the talent and the cultural heritage displayed by our people.
It is against this background that the government collaborated with other stakeholders to facilitate activities to observe, recognize, and pay tribute to Guyana's First People.
We will continue to ensure that with the virtual package or the menu of activities, which will be displayed virtually, will provide activities such as a ceremonial launch of Amerindian Heritage Month, and this will take the place of the direct interactive launch at the Amerindian village that we are accustomed to. This year, we will be doing presentation virtually.
As part of the month-long activities, there will be a ceremonial launch of Amerindian Heritage Month on September 1 at 1100 hours. His Excellency Dr. Mohammed Irfan Ali will deliver the feature address. Minister Sukai will also deliver remarks along with other Amerindian leaders. A new feature that will be introduced this year will be online marketing of Amerindian craft and other products. Cultural presentation will also be made by various groups and will also be showcased live. Amerindian cuisine will also be highlighted at this year's observance, where persons can sample various dishes which will be made available by the ministry free of cost every Wednesday during the month. From September 7 to 30, there will be an Amerindian art exhibition where the work and talents of renowned Amerindian artists will be showcased. The life and work of Stephen Campbell will also be observed, as well as educational lectures for the benefit of school-age children. Seneca Thorne, InfoHub.
More news after this short break. Stay with us.
Attention! We all have an important role to play in helping to stop the spread of COVID-19. There are simple but very important things you must do to help stop its spread. Ensure you wear a mask that covers your nose and mouth when you are in public. Ensure you observe proper hygiene by washing your hands with soap and water or using sanitizer at regular intervals. Observe social distancing by maintaining a distance of 6 feet from each other while in public. Ensure you sanitize your surroundings frequently to keep air and surfaces clean. In doing so, you are not only protecting yourself but others. COVID-19 is spread by humans and can be stopped by the simple actions we take. Let's each do our part, you, me, and everyone else. Together, we can stop its spread.
Welcome back. Following visits to the Swiss Dyke and Linden logging checkpoints, Minister of Natural Resources, Honorable Vikram Bharat, earlier today explained that these visits are to ensure that there is no illegal logging taking place.
What we have seen so far at the Swiss Dyke and at the Linden checkpoints is that there is a good system in place in terms of checks and balances, because they are actually feeding into the main database of forestry. So they know which tag, that is the tag that is on the log here, is linked to which concessionaire. And this can be easily accessed from the database for verification. So it is a good system, but of course, like all systems, there is work that can be done to improve it.
Minister Bharat noted that while there is room for improvement, the system thus far is effective in terms of checks and balances.
The Commissioner of Forestry would have mentioned a few issues in terms of traffic congestion, because as you will realize, these are large trucks, and if you have 5 or 6 here, obviously will cause a lot of traffic congestion. I think that's one of the issues that the people of Linden has been raising. So we look at some of these issues as we go along.
Good news for farmers. Following a decision taken by Cabinet on Thursday last, the National Drainage and Irrigation Authority, NDIA, will soon receive in excess of 29 million Guyana dollars to commence rehabilitation works to several access dams in regions 2, 3, 5, and 6. This is according to Agriculture Minister Honorable Zulfikar Mustafa, who said that the works are considered urgent as some 91,580 acres of rice field are currently under threat due to inaccessible dams. The funds will also facilitate repair to an additional 101,942 rods of dams that were damaged due to continuous use by farmers who made efforts to save their crops and recover expenses from what they could have harvested. Government is currently in the process of preparing for a 4-month budget that will see the Ministry of Agriculture carrying out additional emergency works to a number of drainage and irrigation structures and access dams across the country. In the health sector, GPHC's Director of Medical and Professional Services, Dr. Fawcett Jeffrey, is calling on persons to reduce their chances of becoming exposed to COVID-19 as the government, through the Ministry of Health in collaboration with other agencies, work to stop the spread of the virus.
The government has taken steps to equip regional hospitals with treating COVID-19 patients. Director of Medical and Professional Services at the GPHC, Dr. Fawcett Jeffrey, is calling on persons to try their best not to contract COVID-19 by adhering to all the health precautions. He reminded that severe cases present a higher risk of death.
COVID exists and COVID is real. And we see what happens to patients who are COVID positive and are severely ill. Our death rate is also going up. And my advice to the public is there are rules, there are advisories that are going out to the public that you should wear a face mask, you should socially distance, you should try to stay at least 6 feet apart where possible.
COVID-19 deaths as of Thursday, August 27, 2020 were at 32 and 10 persons were in the intensive care unit. For Info Hub, Delicia Haynes.
Remember to do your part to ensure you do not put yourself at risk during this time. If you have a cough, fever, and difficulty breathing, seek medical care early, but call the hotline first. That's all for today. Connect with us on all our social media platforms, including Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram, and visit our website, dpi.gov.gy, as we bring you the latest and important news on what the government is doing to ensure the continued development of our country. Your Bridge reports are up next. Have a safe and enjoyable weekend. Goodbye.